Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 794, I think. 794. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Normally I'm on about this time just because it's a lazy Sunday. Not so lazy this morning. Got a lot of snow. About 8 inches, I would say. Fortunately, it was a fluffy snow, so I was able to snow blow with ease this morning. If it had been, and I had a feeling that it was going to be a nice fluffy snow because it was really cold yesterday. It was like 15 degrees, which means it was a soft and fluffy snow. And I have like a smaller snowblower, so I don't have the big frickin' Wisconsin snowblower that some of my neighbors have. So sometimes it's tough, and it's kind of like when your grass gets too high and you gotta go over it a couple different times. So fluffy snow. Back hurts because I had to shovel the front door area, so my back's a little stiff. Back's a little stiff from standing around at the card show yesterday. I'm getting old. You know, the funny thing about that is, and I was thinking about this yesterday because every time I like went to bend down or stand up, I made a noise like ugh. And I remember as a punk kid, I would make fun of my dad for doing the same thing. And it's like, God, Dad, why are you straining to get out of your recliner? My dad was a recliner person. He was not a couch person. I received the couch people gene from my mother's side. My mom was a couch people. My dad, recliner guy. So he would, it's like, geez. And now I feel his pain. I feel that pain. Literally, I feel the pain. Ugh. Stiff. Herman's in the house. He went to a show yesterday, but it was a chicken show. Herman got some nice pickups at the chicken show. Sort your chickens. Raphael, what's happening? I'm putting together some basketball boxes. I had a few people. I specifically left my basketball boxes at home because I've got a deal with Raphael going on. So I didn't want people to pick through the basketball because I want to leave that for Raphael. I had like 3 or 4 people ask about basketball. Nobody asked about hockey. We're low rollers in the house. Low roller. Nobody asked about hockey or nobody asked about soccer. So there, take that, hockey and soccer. Nobody was looking for hockey and soccer. I did have a few people looking for basketball. But my baseball and football boxes got demolished. There's another Rockford show in just 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. That's the trouble you run up against with hosting a card show is sometimes dates don't line up. So the next one is in 2 weeks. I will be there again. But this time, since my quarter boxes got raided, I'm going to have to bring new stuff. So I'm going to have to work these next 2 weeks on putting together new quarter box. I've got plenty of inventory. I had a couple more people ask, you buy in bulk? No, I'm not today. But I did have a couple things cross my table. I'll get to as we talk about the show that I was really close. Low roller, I did watch the Royal Rumble. I am very happy. I'm very happy that, and I have to go back and watch it again. I wasn't really paying close attention throughout. It was like background noise for me. But I tried to watch the men's Royal Rumble, which I'm very happy it was the beginning because I fell asleep during the women's battle, the women's Royal Rumble. And then there was, I think, a couple matches, but the Bray Wyatt LA Knight match was stupid. Like, that was dumb. Like, I think I'm starting to sound like Jim Cornette because all these gimmicky matches, it's like, come on. I was not a fan of the Lights Out Mountain Dew blackout match or whatever they called it, sponsored by Mountain Dew. I get it, but I don't. Then there was another match. I wasn't really paying close attention. So I may have it on in the background later today as I ship. So I might just go back and just pop in here and there and watch some. Brian, what's happening? Good morning. So I know I've got so many wrestling fans in here. It's like, oh God, Bo's going to talk about wrestling this morning. No, I didn't really pay much attention. I had it on the whole night, and I was going through. Mostly, I was I had a football box. I finally get well, actually, no, I still have Goodwill pallet stuff still in my car. I've got a huge box that weighs like 100 and some pounds that I've got to like divvy up because there's no way my back can handle carrying that big box downstairs. But there was a football box that I've been going through, and that'll make some nice. There's perfect quarter box. So, but there's it's like half quarter box, half like garbage. So I am having to sort that. So I was doing that, and then I was picking basketball for Raphael, and then I hit the couch, and I fell asleep on the couch, and it was 10:20, which is past my bedtime. We all know that. And I go upstairs, and my wife says, "Did you fall asleep?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, I know. I was snoring that loud." She said it was floor shaking. That's impressive. That's an impressive snore. Floor shaking. So yes, fell asleep, snored. Boston Smoke, what's up? Good morning. Matt, Royals 417 in the house. Volume accumulation is here. Clark Standish, happy Sunday to you. Kyle, what's up? Kyle says, hope you had a great show in Rockford. Time for snow plowing. I finished. I did my snow plowing early, but I had to do that because my wife has a showing this morning. So she's like, you've got a lot of snow to plow this morning. And I'm like, really? She's like, it snowed a lot. I had to shovel the path for Biscuit because I was downstairs snoring. So yeah, and I found out, yeah, oh shit, there's a lot of snow here. So I've got my snow plowed. What the hell? My neighbors, why are they up so early on a Sunday morning? So I come home from the card show yesterday. It was, by the way, the road conditions between Rockford and Janesville were atrocious. By the way, on Friday, just 24 hours prior, there was an 85 car pileup on the same interstate, same stretch of interstate that I traveled yesterday. Fortunately, there was a couple cars that had skidded off and hit a guardrail, but only like 2 or 3 my entire drive. So that was good. But Rockford to Janesville, man, was terrible. The roads weren't plowed. It was like interstate, like just in comparison, the interstate going to the show yesterday morning, I was doing 85. I had my cruise set at 85, smooth sailing. The way home, 25, all the way to Janesville. And I think I was able to get up to like 40 at times, but it was slow motoring. And then I got off in Janesville because I was pretty low on gas. And it's like, okay, think. Remember, I'm the guy that likes to run his gas down to zero. If I'm down to like 20 miles, and yes, I can get home on 20 miles, what happens if I'm that guy that slides off the road into the ditch down there and I've got to wait and I run out of gas and I'm cold? Not good. So Janesville gas, stopped off in Janesville, got gas, hopped back on the interstate, and it was like, boom, all of a sudden. It was like the snowplow had just gone through. And so I wasn't able to do 85, but I was able, from Janesville to Madison, I was able to do like 50 to 60, which was way faster than 25 to 35. So finally got home. Let's see. Paul Heath, what's up? Todd Richardson, good morning. Herman says, make those same noises with everything I do now. Yeah. People digging through my quarter boxes and I'm like bending down to pick up a box or something. Ugh, you okay down there? No, my back. I'm old. Let's see. Low Roller says I should sell hockey and soccer in my eBay store. I say no. Paige and Deanie Bean, Royal Rumble post show. I don't really have much to talk about. I had it on and I literally watched all the way up until 10:20. But it was like, I don't know what happened. Well, and of course I was sleeping and snoring for part of that time. So, let's see. Where are we at? Low Roller says more wrestling cards, fingers and ears. Watch The Last of Us. So good. Last of Us. I'll look that up. I think I've heard of that. I think I saw what platform is that on? Jenny, what's happening? Good morning to you. We got snow, Jenny. We got snow. Good morning from Myrtle Beach. They probably didn't get snow. Wesley probably didn't have to snowplow this morning. James, it took James. James made my thumbnail this morning on the YouTube review. James was digging through. I met like 5 people that watched the show. Santos drove in from downtown Chicago. I think he said downtown from Chicago. And then I didn't get another guy's name. He was wearing I think a Penguins hat. So shout out to you, Penguins hat. Let's see. Another customer who James and my other customer, and I think he told me his name at the very beginning. He said he has it on, and his wife also listens in to Hobby Evolution every morning. Shout out. And I am so sorry that I either didn't get your name or I forgot. But we had a conversation for like the entire show. Tim, the guy that I bought the basketball cards that I'm like passing on to Raphael and Paul Carl, he stopped by, so I got to chat with him. Who else? I'm missing. I know I'm gonna miss people, but it was a great show. It was a great show. Dealers showed up, and I was concerned. Like I knew it was gonna snow. Like I knew. Like we watched Jeopardy, so there was a little map in the corner that says winter storm warning, Saturday through Sunday. So I knew it was going to snow bad, but I thought it was going to be a little bit later, like in the afternoon. And it wasn't. It started at like 10, and it was like huge flakes. Like I'm like, oh my God, this is going to suck. Fortunately, by the end of the show, it had tapered off, but the roads were still crap. It took James 2 hours. James? How long does it take normally from McHenry? It's probably no more than an hour, probably 45 minutes to an hour for you. I don't even know how long it took me. I think I left it probably took me. Well, I stopped to get gas. What time did I leave? I was pretty much out of there at 3:20. And I got home. Did I get home at 5? That can't be right. I think I got home I think 5:15. So it took about 2 hours, but there's a 10-minute stop for gas in there. So, and it normally takes me an hour 15. So it took me, it took James 45 minutes, and James has a little more. It's kind of not, you've got some like 2-lane highways, right? I would assume. Mine's like all interstate, like all the way from Rockford to Madison, and then basically like a 3 miles from the belt line to my house is just a 2-lane highway, which was actually in better condition than the interstate. Let's see, HBO Max. Okay, that's okay. Let's see, where are we at? Jenny got some hockey and soccer yesterday. Did I see Roman Reigns' main event? Oh man, I don't think so. If that came on after the Women's Royal Rumble, I did not, because I think the Women's Royal Rumble was. I have no idea. I woke up and like turned it off and went to bed. I don't know what I saw, what I didn't see. So it'll be like watching it brand new again. Did I sell any bulk? I did. It's -10 in Minnesota. No snow, but -10. I'd take -10 over snow. Heck yeah. In a minute, in a second, in a split second. Harlan says, good morning. What's up, Harlan? Wrestling equals fingers and ears. Undrafted player. Hello from France. I can't wait for today's NFL playoff games. That is going to be fun. So if you're in France, you're probably, oh man, so you're going to have to pull an all-nighter, because France, it's what time in France right now? Let me do finger math. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming it's about 4:30 in France, 4:30 p.m. in France. So we've still got another, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So 5 hours. So yeah, that's like an all-nighter. James says, I'm a celebrity. It took him 45 minutes. It took you the correct amount of time. In the words of my grandfather, it's better to get there late than never. That's what I'm like. I'm much more, and I think it's just with age comes a little more wisdom. Sometimes for some of us, not always the case. But I used to be the guy that, I gotta get there. I gotta get there. I gotta be there 5 minutes earlier than I should. But at what, at what, you're risking life and others' lives just to, like, I'm driving like, and I was behind, and this is like in the rough stretch where we're doing like 25, 30, and there's cars like passing doing 40. And it's like, okay, you're only gonna get 15 mile say you're going an hour away. You're only gonna beat me by 15 minutes. Like, is it that important that you get to where you're going 15 minutes faster? But it's also risk. There's risk involved. There's less risk for me and others going 25 and to be 15 minutes late or whatever. But at 40, you're increasing your risk to slide out and be an hour late or 2 hours late or dead. So I'm much more on the, I'm going home. Yeah, I want to catch the Royal, and I had plenty of time to get home by the Royal Rumble, but it's like I'm cool with being 15 minutes later than normal or 45 minutes later than normal. It's cool. I'm cool. Let's see. So Jenny wants to know if I bought bulk. Yes. Or wait, if I sold bulk. Yes, I sold bulk. Guess what? I did not buy a single card yesterday. Not a single card. My buddy Randy stopped by. He drove all the way in from Champaign. Shout out to Randy. And he actually gifted me a couple cards, a Kerry Wood rookie, and what I think is even cooler than the Kerry Wood, Carson Sands orange, Bowman out of 25. And you're like, who? Well, Carson Sands in a trade, like early on in my Cubs collecting 1 million Cubs project, one of my trading partners was like working on the Carson Sands rainbow. For whatever reason, he came across like a lot of the low serial numbers. I don't think the Carson Sands first Bowman Superfractor has emerged. And again, this is from 2014. So I'm missing the Superfractor, and there might be a couple other colors, but so yeah, and I don't know if I have, this is the Bowman paper of 20. So now when I see like Carson Sands, like colors and serial number, it's like I'm always grabbing them. Thank you, Randy, for gifting me the Carson Sands and the Kerry Wood. I sold a lot of bulk. So I was trying to blow out my bargain boxes. I ended up selling 3 full boxes, 3 full 4-row boxes for $100 a pop. And James bought a half box, and my buddy from Schaumburg, that again, I'm very sorry I didn't get your name. He bought a half box also. So I essentially I sold 4 full boxes, 4 full 4-row boxes, and then I sold a $40 fill a box, a couple $20 fill a box, I think a $30 fill a box, and then some random like small. Yesterday was a lot of what I would call volume buyers, where in other shows it's like I'll have a $5 transaction here, $10 here, $2 here. I got 4 cards for $1. Can I get 6 cards for $1? Yes, absolutely. But yesterday was a lot of volume, and that's what I'm hoping for when I have 16 to 20 4-row boxes splayed on the table. Dig, dive, buy. That's the goal. But now, since I'm going to be at the same show in just 2 weeks, I'll probably have the same or similar customers. So I'm going to have to refresh and restock and put new stuff out there. So it was a great show. It was a great show for sales. It was, I think, my second best ever show from a sales dollar standpoint, behind the August show, the August 2022 show. And that was like my football boxes got rated in August. Cooter's in the house. Let's see. Big Chunkas, what's up? Good morning. Any recommendation when selling a higher end card to avoid someone making an offer, you accepting, and then they do not pay and just disappear? If you're talking eBay, yes, there are some safeguards. It's not foolproof. What I do when this happens, and this happens, say a Superfractor I list, or, basically anything in the, I don't know, anything more than $200, Definitely when it starts to get around $500, that's when I start doing a little sleuthing. First things, I'll look at the feedback, because even though they may have 100% positive feedback, that positive feedback might be negative, as far as sellers can't leave negative feedback. So if they're notorious for buying and ghosting and not paying, people may leave positive feedback, but then in the notes in capital letters, non-payer, do not sell to, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you'll see just a long string of did not pay, did not pay, did not pay. So that's number one. Number two is Google the eBay username. And that's what I do a lot. And sometimes, typically, a lot of stuff comes up from the Blowout forums. And there's a thread on the Blowout forums for feedback, basically, from all different platforms, not just eBay, but Blowout itself and other sales platforms. Go into Blowout and do a search. Within the Blowout forums or Google with the username. But again, that's not foolproof, because that if they're notorious for doing it and they show up on a Google search or in a Blowout forum, they can change their username. So I wish there was a better way to track eBay usernames. So those are a couple safeguards. And if they clear the test, and if say they have sometimes you can look at the transactions, and if they paid and it went smooth, I would err on the side of trusting that particular eBay user. What's up, baseball card curmudgeon? Good morning to you. Cooter says, as I tell my daughters, you can't get into a car accident too slow. Right on. Safety first. Undrafted player, correct. The time here in France is 4:30 p.m. The first NFL game will start here at 9:30 p.m. The second will start Monday at 12:30 a.m. Just hear about practicing my English. That's pretty cool. Practicing your English. I like it. Our local show was heavy in basketball and football. I hope that shifts by the March show. So for me, it was, which this is a good thing, it was so busy, I really didn't have many opportunities to walk the floor and get a good vibe of what was going on. I really didn't, I talk in a lot of times when you talk to the dealers during a busy show, it's just like a couple fist bumps and, hey, how'd you do today? I did great. How'd you do? I did great. All right, drive safe. Boom. That was the extent of many of my conversations because it was so busy, which is good. I like it. I'd rather make the second most money I've ever done selling quarter cards at a card show and not have a chance to really engage with fellow dealers than not having anybody in the room and buying a lot of cards from other dealers and talking about how slow the show is. So I'd much rather have what we had yesterday than the opposite. I will say I had a few people ask for basketball. My football boxes it was mainly baseball. It was, I would say, I'm trying to think, I would say, and I only had football and baseball, but I would say just among the purchases, I would say 75% of my sales were baseball. 25% were football. So I sold 2 full boxes of baseball, and both half boxes that I sold were also baseball. And then I sold 1 full box of football. I sold a $40 fill a box of football, and I might have sold a smaller box of football. So I don't know what that comes out to, but I would say probably 75. I would say 75% of my sales were baseball, 25% football, and then that's all I brought. So I had a few people did ask about basketball. Let's see. But as far as the rest of the show went, it was a great mix. Like, as with all of the shows in Rockford, it was similar, a good mix of stuff. There was plenty of baseball, plenty of football, plenty of basketball. There was even some soccer and hockey for low roller. Pokemon is big there too. I did some digging. My buddy John Boomer, he's got some good stuff. I dug through his boxes. There were a few cards that it's like, ooh, like I would say for me, higher end. Now, when I say higher end, I'm talking $20 and up cards. Okay. That's high end for me because I'm selling commons and, minors, like base cards, $2 cards, $1.50 cards. So to me, a $20 and up card is high end based on relatively speaking. So he had a couple, there was like a Robert Hassel Bowman Chrome Refractor auto that he had, I think for $20. It wasn't a first. And I think that's probably like right now, and this is the game I don't want to play, especially right now. I'm not in the buying mode. I'm trying to sell for the next 2 months. But that's, if I was in a buying mood, that's something that I would have tackled. And I probably would have bundled with a bunch of other stuff to get that price knocked down to maybe $12 to $15. In more of a speculative play where, yes, it's not a first Bowman auto, but it is a Bowman Chrome Refractor auto. And if I could get it, say, for 15, the comps right now are probably 20 to 25, but after you back out your fees, it's right at what I paid for it, 15, if I paid for 15 for it. So, but the speculative eye is, okay, once we get to spring training and say he has a great spring, or just the market overall starts to increase. And right now we're already seeing the baseball market start to, like my baseball sales are going crazy. Then maybe that $20 sale becomes a $30 sale. And now I've got that, $10 profit margin. So that's kind of my mentality when I was going through, but I'm also at the stage where I'm in sell mode. Like I've got to get rid of stuff. I've got enough inventory to both list on eBay and put in my 25-cent boxes. Let's see. Brian says, damn it skipped ahead. Brian says something at Big Chunkas. You can set the minimum amount you will accept in your listing. That's especially on bigger cards. That's definitely the way to go. There's nothing more annoying than having a $500 card that comps at like $500 to $600 and getting a bunch of $75 offers. And I want to be a dick about those and just be like, F you. But I don't. Sometimes I like, but I don't most of the time. James says, LOL, dig, dive, buy. That's going to be my new slogan. Come shop my quarter boxes. Dig, dive, buy. John, that 70s card show, what's happening? Where we at? Let's see. Zach and Porter in the house. Good morning to you. This may be the wrong place to learn proper English. 100%. 100%. Good morning, Dan. I am counting down the days until my Card Dealer Pro listings renew on the 2nd. Very cool. And I also talked to a couple people. They're like, hey, I saw your video on YouTube and I downloaded Card Dealer Pro. Do you get like any affiliate list? I'm like, no, they should start. Let's talk. So yes, I don't even know where I'm at. Do I ever know where I'm at? Where we at? I never know where I'm at. But I need to tackle shipping today and hopefully I can get caught up again on shipping and get some listings back up. I'm down below 33,000 again. Let's see. I can't believe the 2nd is already Thursday. January went so fast. I love it when January goes fast. And here's my thinking on the calendar. January is a long month and like really long when you get 8 inches of snow. You have to drive through and then snow blow. But then it's like February. Like when's February? Wednesday? Well, if the 2nd is Thursday, the 1st is Wednesday. So February is a short month, and it's an odd year, so it's definitely a short month. It's the 28-day month of February this year. And then all of a sudden it's March, and guess what March is? Spring effing training. Yes. And March Madness. Yes. But now as I get older, I don't like wish the days away as much as I used to. Like I couldn't I just wanted to fast forward through all of the winter months. But now as you get older, it's like now they go by so fast. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I can handle another month of winter. Slow down. Because the faster the months go, the louder my aches and pains get. The older I get. Slow down time. Slow down. I may have missed your answer last week. What cards do you collect? Low roller scratcher. Where you at? Do you have a favorite player we can look for when going through bargain boxes? Dan says, right. Jenny, spring is in sight. We just have to look through the snow. Ugh. Low roller is basketball, football, baseball. What? What? Low roller? What? You don't collect hockey and soccer? My God. Bo, would love to hear your thoughts on Brennan Davis and Ed Howard. First off, I will talk about them as people, as humans, because I've had the chance to like converse and meet them several times. Awesome dudes, like super awesome. Like Ed Howard always has a smile on his face. Like he will go out of his way to like interact with fans, adults and kids. Same with Brennan. Brennan is super down to earth, nice kid. I've met Brennan's mom and stepdad. Awesome people, super nice. So that's, I mean, first off, I just want to talk about how great they are as people. And then as players, I know Ed struggled in last year. He missed most of the season with an injury. So I'm hoping for a bounce back year from him. He was a highly touted draft pick out of Chicago, Mount Carmel, out of high school. He's still young. Like, how old is Ed Howard? Remember, he was drafted out of high school. Is he 22? He's 21. The kid's 21. So yeah, I still have high hopes on Ed Howard. Brennan Davis is going to be a stud. I mean, he's built like a freaking athlete. And so he battled some injuries last year as well, back injuries, which I hate back injuries, but from all reports, he's like 100%. He's crushing it. So we should see, barring injury, we should see Brennan at Wrigley Field this year, potentially on the opening day roster. So I'm excited to see Brennan Davis at spring training and see how he performs on the field and how he's doing, how he can hit, coming off his back injury. So yeah, I'm high on those guys. I'm a homer too because I like them as guys, but I have high hopes for them as baseball players. Let's see. Cooter says, aside from our poor use of our native language, anyone from France will probably be appalled by our culinary talk. Oh, without a doubt. I do have a question. Do they have gas station pizza in France? Because that's my favorite. Gas station pizza. So when I stopped in Janesville at the gas station, I don't even know what gas station it is. But I went to the bathroom. TMI. So I went, by the way, clean bathrooms in Janesville. But as I was walking out, they had a picture of their pizza. Man, it looked good. I'm like, but I had just eaten McDonald's. So I wasn't going to double. I mean, we know I have a poor diet. There you go. There's our culinary talk. McDonald's, a chicken sandwich from McDonald's, French fries, and now I'm talking about gas station pizza. There you go. That's the appalling culinary talk. But if anybody knows what gas station, that's on my short list now. I got to find that pizza. Well, I guess I know where to find it. The gas station in Janesville. Let's see. Zach wants to know if you collect any specific players and do you use trading card database? Randy, nice seeing you at the show. Glad I was able to find you a couple cards. Yes, I love the cards. I mean, I love both of them, but the Carson Sands is kind of like one of those sleeper PCs I have going. So that's always awesome. Hopefully it was a decent drive for you. It was rough going for me. Dairyland, Denny's in the house. What's up, 49ers and Chiefs? I'm 50% with you. I'm going for the 40 now. Okay. I'm rooting for the 49ers and Bengals. But since I'm rooting for the 49ers and Bengals, I think it's going to be the Eagles and Chiefs, because it seems like every year, except for 2005 when the Bears made the Super Bowl, every year the teams that I root for to get to the Super Bowl always lose in the championship games. Not always, most of the time. So I'm rooting. Sorry, Philly guys. Sorry, John. I'm rooting for the 49ers. I was a bandwagon 49ers fan as a kid. I jumped on that bandwagon. The Bengals 49ers was the first Super Bowl I truly remember watching as a 7-year-old. I think we talked about that. Like, we all remember the first Super Bowl many of us remember is at the age of 7. That was for me, would have been the 88 season, January of 89, Super Bowl. Let's see, if it was 89, it would have been Super Bowl 23. Is that right? Yeah, because 25 was 91. So 49ers Bengals has a soft spot in my heart, but also I root for quarterbacks because obviously the team's run by the QB. But there's not a bad quarterback in this bunch, because, the weakest of the four, the 49ers, Brock Purdy, but it's such a great story. Mr. Irrelevant is now 1 game away from a Super Bowl. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. I mean, you can't go wrong with this group. So I'm rooting for the 49ers Bengals, but really any matchup, I will honestly, if it's Eagles Chiefs, I'll be a little disappointed. If it's Eagles Chiefs, I'll be a little disappointed. But 49ers Chiefs, I would like to see that battle. Eagles Bengals, I would be cool with Eagles Bengals. Yeah. But I'm rooting for Bengals 49ers. Let's see. Low Roller sold 3 cards on my ComC store while I was sleeping. There you go. Mike255. Check out Low Roller Scratcher's store. I assume is your name Mike? That way, because Mike is easier to say than Low Roller Scratcher. And we don't have many Mikes in the chat. We have a lot of Brians. We have a lot of Terrys. We have a good amount of Johns. We don't have a lot of Mikes. That's strange, because Mike's a very common name. Great day for NFL neutrals. It is. It is, for sure. Combat Vets Rubes, what is up? Loves Car Dealer Pro. I'm at the basic trying to figure it out if the 500 listings reset in a new month. I guess I'll find out. So I think we talked about this the other day, and I think we had mixed thoughts on that. I thought it did not roll over, but somebody else said they thought it did. So if you do find out, let us know. I was sure. I think my subscription was up like last week. Like Thursday was when my month ran out, and like Monday I was on like a listing kick, and it's like I might as well re-up. So I wonder if I can go in, because I did. Let's see if it refreshed, and we'll see how many listings, because that would suck if I lost those, because I paid for a bunch. Let's see. I didn't remember. Damn it. Okay. This portion of the show is Bo tries to remember his passwords. Hey, got it. It only took 2 tries. Okay, so I have Oh, I think it did roll over, because I have I think today was when my membership or my renewal was. So I have 14,630, because I think yes, it does. So like Monday or Tuesday, I added like 5,000 I bought 5,000 scans because I was on a roll, and apparently I only used 400. Whoops. So fortunately those did roll over, because then I think my subscription is 10,000. Does that make sense? Let's see. I don't want to upgrade. Let's click this. So yeah, so I'm on the 10,000. Yeah, I'm on the 10,000. So it refreshed. So I've got 10,000 new scans along with the 4,630. So it does roll over. We got our answer. So yes, they do. The scans do roll over. Whew, good. That's awesome. So I have this month, I have 14,630 to use up. Let's see. Jenny says, good thing Bo has so many boxes behind him from keeping him from blowing away at LRS's collection answer. Low Roller is smart. You don't smoke your own stash. He knows where the money is to sell, so he doesn't. Hey, that's pretty good. You are correct. You are correct, sir. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. John says, I need to sleep more if it means more sales. I thought it was like a lemonade stand where you had to stay awake. You know, I was talking, I don't know if it was James or somebody else that I was chatting with at my table yesterday, where it's like, it does seem like I make more sales while I'm sleeping. Like I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and I'll have like 53 sales from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And it's like every morning. It's almost like Christmas morning every day when I look at my eBay store. And I hope that continues. That's a fun feeling. Dean and I are doing spring training countdown with the aid of a 16-pack hobby box of 2022 Stadium Club. Oh, nice. There's the link. Sweet. T206 Kid says, saw Brennan Davis play for Iowa when the team was playing the Louisville Bats. He looks very promising. He does. He's got a ton of potential. Quick Trip in Wisconsin has pizza. Stop there on the way back from Green Bay. It sure does. I'm not as big a fan of Quick Trip pizza. I'm a Casey's guy. There's a Quick Trip just down the street. This is what happens when I have guests in town. I treated Herman to Quick. Herman flew all the way from Georgia to Wisconsin, and I treated him to Quick Trip. Let's see. Where are we at? Jenny says a Brock Purdy auto of 99 sold for over $2,000 yesterday at auction. A Joe Montana auto, buy it now, 140. Yep, that's the way the world works. My buddy Ryan, ripping one-handed, texted me Friday, and he said, hey, there's a bunch of mosaic at the Fitchburg Target. And I'm like, as much as it intrigues me, I'm like, eh. By the time I feel like going, like, it's not like a chase for me. I'm like, thanks for the heads up. If I make it over there, I didn't go anywhere to look for wax. I didn't buy a single card all weekend. I didn't buy any blasters. I didn't buy any singles. I didn't buy any bulk. I stuck to my word. Dude also predicted postseason for several Chicago teams. That's me. Next year, I'm predicting Chicago Cubs get in via the wild card. Now, I'm not saying they're going to – I think the Cubs will finish with like 84 wins. Or I don't know if Abraham's listening. 83 or 84 wins. And they'll sneak into one of the wild card spots in the National League. The Bears, though, I have more promise for the Chicago Football Bears. I think the 2023 Chicago Bears have 4 times the value. Oh, wait, that's sports card investor with Will Greer. I think the Chicago Bears in 2023 will win the NFC North. They'll go from worst to first in the NFC North. They will obviously make the playoffs. They will get within a touchdown of the NFC Championship game. They will miss the NFC Championship game. They'll lose. It'll be a close game. Maybe against, who knows, maybe against Brock Purdy and the 49ers. Or maybe it'll be against Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. But that's my prediction. 2023 Chicago Bears, NFC North champions. Let's see. Maybe that NFC Championship game will be against John's Philadelphia Eagles. Zach is a Quick Trip guy. I'm a Casey's guy. But I'm not knocking Quick Trip. I do enjoy Quick Trip, but I'm a Casey's guy. Zach says, I only cheer for the Niners when they play the Packers. We don't know if Brock is a good or bad quarterback. The other 3 are good quarterbacks. Oh, for sure. Without question. But I like the story. For me, it's the story, and it's the nostalgia for 49ers for me. Are the Bills the lovable losers of the NFL? Maybe. They were in the early 90s. That's for sure. I mean, I didn't even care about the AFC, and I was rooting for the Buffalo Bills. Where are we at? Bo, if you start referring to LRS as Mike, I will block this channel. Let's see. Live with Brad. Oh, wait. Live with Brad. We don't want to live with Brad. Live with Brad in the house. What's up? That is not enough. You need more. Live with Brad. What is up? You threw me off with the new YouTube name. You threw me off, my friend Brad. Combat Vet Rubes, thanks for answering my Car Dealer Pro. By the way, I think I am probably the only Ernie here. Ernie! Yes, we have an Ernie. I'm probably the only Bo here. What is your eBay store name? I don't know if you're talking to me, but if you're talking to me, I'll shameless plug. It's in the link. Link is in the description, and now it's in the chat. There you go. That's my eBay store. Let's see. John says, I'm about to interview a different Dean. Is it Dean's Cards? The vintage Dean's Cards dealer? Paige and Deanie Bean says, I agree, Zach. I will pull the plug as well to Hobby Evolution as well if he stops referring to him as Low Roller Scratcher. If those late night drunk orders that come in overnight, if I did eBay, I bet it would be tempting to watch the end of auctions. It is for sure. Brad with the link even fast. It is. It's that, and that's one thing I like about auctions is the end, especially if you do like a whole bunch at the same time and you just watch like, ooh, what's going on? But then it's the opposite when they don't end well. And it's like if all the bidding happens 3 days prior to end and you're watching and nothing. Come on, refresh, and nothing. And then it's like, wah, wah. Cheese curds. I had another out-of-stater text me yesterday. He was driving up from, my buddy Corey was driving up from Kankakee, and he's like, hey, what's the best cheese curd in Madison? And I'm like, well, I have two favorites. The Craftsman in Middleton and the Old Fashioned downtown. Now, even though I did treat Herman to Quick Trip, I did treat him to Old Fashioned, and my buddy Dan, Korean Cardboard, I also treated Dan to the Old Fashioned and the Old Fashioned cheese curds. So those are also my favorite. So I have two favorites, Old Fashioned and Craftsman. My buddy Corey was going to the Badger Illinois game, the Badger Illini game at the Kohl Center. Stupid Illini. Badgers suck, man. It's pissing me off with how bad they've been, especially the last 2 weeks. But my Western Illinois Leathernecks made ESPN the other day. It's not too often Western Illinois University, the Leathernecks, make ESPN. My alma mater. Trenton Masner set the single game scoring record and one of the top scorers of the country this year, 46 points in a game. The record the record at Western was, and I should know this because I literally wrote the book on Western Illinois basketball history, which I haven't published. I published one copy. I printed one copy and I gave it to the athletic department. It was Dan Braun. It was 1970, and it was actually it might be this day in 1970. It was right around this time. And I think it was 40 points, 40 or 41. So Masner broke the record, 46 points this week. And then, so that was on Tuesday. And then on Thursday or Friday, or what, that might have been Sunday or Monday. A couple days later, he hits a game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer. And then yesterday, my Leathernecks were down 18 points with 6 minutes to go in the game. Came back and won by 8 in overtime. Western Illinois Leathernecks, I think they're in second place in the Summit League. I'm going to have to watch some Leatherneck basketball. Rob Jeter is the head coach at Western now. He was formerly at Milwaukee. His father, Bob Jeter, was played for the Green Bay Packers back in like the 60s and 70s. And Rob's son, JT, is a pretty good athlete at Macomb High School, home of the Bombers. Let's see. John says overnight is also where the dollar offers emanate from. Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. A little bit of good, a little bit of bad. John says people forget math when the sun goes down. That's true. A little barley pops. I mean, I do a lot of shopping after a few barley pops at night. Few barley pops. Like, hey, I'll buy this card. Brad says I will take the under on that win total on the Cubs. Come on, Brad. Nope, I'm going to say 83 to 84. 83 to 84 wins for the Chicago Cubs in 2023. Zach says I bought a 1989 Topps Talking Fisk. Didn't know it existed. So cool. And Zach texted me that, and I was aware because they have the machine. That's the talking baseball card set, and there's a machine, and I wanted that set so bad, and Santa Claus never brought it to me. But I think you can buy them for like $20 on eBay. That'll probably be like after I've had a 6-pack, like next weekend, I'll have a 6-pack and it's like, oh, I'm going to buy a talking baseball player. That's what's going to happen. I always check my saved search for Giants on you and Jenny stores right before bed. So I usually end up buying overnight. There you go. Dairyland Picker says with Fields, hell yeah, with Justin effing Fields, the Chicago effing Bears, baby. Yes, Justin Fields. The Bears are going to trade down out of the number 1 pick. They're going to get a haul. I'm hoping they trade down twice. I'm hoping they trade, ideally for me, the Chicago Bears trade out of the number 1 pick. I don't want them to pick number 1 because I think who they should get is going to still be available in the top 5 picks, either Jalen Carter from Herman's Georgia Bulldogs or from the Alabama Crimson Tide, Will Anderson. So ideally, I would like the Bears to trade with the Texans and get out of the number 1 spot and take the Texans number 2 along with, another pick and maybe next year's first round pick or whatever. I don't know what all that entails, but get a nice little booty of picks. Then trade out of the number 2 pick to the Indianapolis Colts, who will be looking for a quarterback also, because the Texans probably go Bryce Young in that scenario. Then at number 2, there's going to be another. I mean, there's several quarterback wanting teams. And so there's going to be, you've got Will Levis out of Kentucky. You've got Ohio State's CJ Stroud. So the Colts are going to want their guy. And maybe their guy is, it sounds like Will Levis is the Colts, at least on mock drafts I've been reading. So then the Bears trade the number 2 pick to the Colts for the number 4 pick in a booty of picks. And then so you've got quarterbacks going 1 and 2. Say it's, I don't know, Bryce Young, Will Levis. Number 3, I don't know who's picking there, but they're probably going to take one of the 2 defensive guys, Carter or Anderson. And then the Bears take whoever's left, Jalen Carter or Will Anderson. I'm happy with either. So that is my ideal scenario for the Chicago Football Bears. And then they've got like the most cap space of any team in the NFL. And then they can go out and buy some players, and they're on their way to becoming Super Bowl contenders. Chicago Bears. I agree, Cooter. I always check eBay saved before bed. Garrett, what's up? Garrett says, Lions greater than the Bears. You're blocked. Combat says, hoping Brock Purdy looks and plays like a rookie today, so my extensive Trey Lance rookie card collection will benefit next year. Yeah, and that'll be interesting. What if Brock Purdy wins today, goes to the Super? I mean, even if he's in the Super Bowl, but just think, what if he wins the Super Bowl? What do the 49ers do? Do they stick with Purdy? Do they stick with Lance? I heard a rumor Trey Lance could be moving teams. I haven't looked to see if that's an accurate rumor, though. Typically, most rumors are not accurate. I was so I love going back in history and looking at trade rumors from the past. And my buddy Scott, who actually worked in the front office for the Cubs and was like in on some of these trade conversations. So I start running by when we drove down to Baseball Card Exchange because he had a 75 unopened box that he wanted to get wrapped. And so we're driving down. So I've got a list of like trades that were like written about in the newspapers. And I'm like, okay, was this legit? And he's like, no, we never talked about that. He's like, it could have been a joke at like the winter meetings. Like there was a reporter, like, you know, with his ears trying to listen in on conversations. And it was brought up just as a joke, just to create a rumor. But no, there were never any serious discussions over that. So what I found from that conversation with my friend was most rumors are just that, and there's typically no truth behind them. Harlan says, what will the high temperature be during the Bears' first-round playoff game next season? Just want to see how granular your predictions can get. Oh, well, let's see. 21 degrees. I'm just going to pull a number out of my ass. 21 degrees. Game time temperature, 21 degrees. John says there will be lots of QB rumors this offseason. So many teams need QBs. That is very true. There's going to be musical chairs on quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, probably not going to be in Green Bay. Trey Lance might not be in San Francisco. Tom Brady might be retired. Who knows? There's going to be a lot of musical chairs going on. Lots of teams need quarterbacks. Lots of quarterbacks are going to be on the move. And we've got 3 quarterbacks that will be drafted in the top 10. Let's see. Brad's confused. Brian says sold a Justin Fields rookie yesterday, holding some back for next season. I should. In my latest Goodwill pallet there was a nice little stack of them. They sell for like $2-3. So I probably should have held on to some, but most of them have sold. They're low end. They're just like the Panini Chronicles rookies. So if anything, next year they'll be $3 to $4 instead of $2 to $3. Let's see. Where we at? Ben, what's up? Good morning to you. Retro is in. Love the name. Regarding Car Dealer Pro, do your scans refresh February 1st or 1 month from purchase of service? 1 month from purchase. So if you purchase today, you have your number of scans through February, or I guess it would be March 1st. And then they do roll over. So if you have, say, 150 scans and it's March 1st, and you re-up your subscription, you'll get whatever number your subscription is plus the leftover scans. Let's see. Zach says Plow Guy left. Plow Guy left, not Plow Guy to my left. Plow Guy left, going to do the walk for commerce to deliver to my domicile. Enjoy the day. Thank you. You as well. Don't slip on the snow. I'll be getting the cheese curds at Murph's in a couple of months. Theirs are pretty awesome. Nice. Terry, what's up? Good morning. Are made right beef sandwiches a thing in Wisconsin? Only had them in Brainerd, which is Minnesota. I know that's Minnesota. I know that's Minnesota, but all you northern states look the same to us in the South. So, made right sandwiches, yes. And I think made right were actually invented in the Quad Cities. Let's look that up. Because we actually have made right. Made right sandwich. I think they were invented in the Quad. Made right sandwiches. Made right. And that's actually made right. And it's like loose meat sandwiches. Let's see. Looks like, that's the headquarters are in Iowa, which is basically Des Moines. Made Right is an American casual dining franchise restaurant chain. Before it became a restaurant chain, it was a single restaurant opened in 1926 by Fred Angel. By the end of the 20s, 4 franchises were granted. These 4 restaurants are still in operation. So Fred was a butcher in Muscatine, Iowa. So Muscatine is basically the Quad Cities. Oh my God. They have, the Wikipedia page, the Maid-Rite. Oh, I got to link this. I was going to mention the Macomb Maid-Rite. It's no longer there. But the Macomb Maid-Rite, that's what and that Maid-Rite building, if you go to the Wikipedia page for Maid-Rite, Macomb, Illinois, that's where I lived for like 12, 13 years. That stood there until about 2007 or 2008. And it was they still served sandwiches out of that building. And it basically looked like that. I think the health department turned a blind eye. They were probably getting their palms greased or something. There was plenty of grease in there. It was a disgusting restaurant, but damn, their loose meat sandwiches were so good. So yeah, loose meat sandwiches created by Fred in Muscatine, Iowa. Let's see, what were the first, and I want to see what the first four restaurants. The first was opened in Durant, Iowa, which I think is north of the Quad Cities. Let's see. So it looks like, yeah, they started right around the Quad Cities. You know, we had one briefly. We actually had a Maid-Rite briefly in Anawan for about maybe a year. So yeah, Maid-Rite, I'm very familiar with Maid-Rite. I don't think we have them in Wisconsin, though. To your question, do you have them in Wisconsin? Let's see. I want to find a location map. As of April 2021, come on, somebody, Wikipedia, get on this. Update this damn website. There are 21 locations in Iowa and 11 locations in other states. So let's go to the website, maidrite.com. And Maid is spelled M-A-I-D. Maid-Rite locations, Maid-Rite restaurants since 1926. Let's see. So Iowa, they're all over in Iowa. So we'll skip Iowa because they're all over. Illinois, there's one in East Moline, which is the Quad Cities. There's one in Milan, which is also the Quad Cities, not Milan. There's one in Quincy. There's one in Galesburg. And there's one in Moline, which is also Quad Cities. So 3 in the Quad Cities. Minnesota, Brainerd. There's your Brainerd, Minnesota at the barn. And then St. Cloud, Minnesota has a Maid-Rite. Missouri has some. Hannibal, Rolla, and Lexington. And there's one out in Ohio, Pequot, Ohio. So there's your Maid-Rite restaurants. None in Wisconsin, nor Oklahoma. Brad says building the 2002 SPX base basketball set. Very cool. What is another name for a pirate's treasure? A booty. That's right. David's baseball cards. What's up? How was the show? I'm not able to make it until April. Show was great. Yeah, like, God, this guy's talking about gas station pizza and Maid-Rite loose meat sandwiches. When are you going to talk about the card show? Stick with Purdy. Lance is all hype, no substance, but maybe Purdy's all hype. Although I guess he has performed. With Card Dealer Pro, I will talk card. I'll get around to the card. I've kind of talked about some of the card show. This is card show reviews go all over all of my shows go all over the place. With Card Dealer Pro, will your new scans this month draw from your monthly 10K first or from the extras you purchased? I don't think it matters. I think it all goes in one, like they all become one. So it's instead of having 10,000 for my subscription, I now have 14,000. And if I have 14,000 on March 1st, I'll now have 24,000. So I think it all just sucks it all in from all aspects. Terry says the last one in the Twin City area closed about 10 years ago. Quincy had 2 about a decade ago. I don't recall if you've mentioned this before. Are you using a Fujitsu scanner for your card scans? Yes, sir. Love my Fujitsu. I have the Fujitsu 8170 that I'm using. I also used a 7030 for about a year. And I also have the overhead scan snap that I used a little bit when I got it. Haven't really used it much. Kyle says, won a Grail set on eBay last night. 1983 Uno Racing. Oh, Kyle, I was going to take a picture. There was a vendor across from me that had, about 30 binders of NASCAR. He wanted, I think, $5 a binder or $80 for everything. I was going to message you, but I didn't, and I apologize. But he may be at the next show, so if you're interested, let me know. He had a whole bunch, and I'm sure it was all junk, like 90s. It looked like the binders I get in the Goodwill pallets, just junk. 90s junk NASCAR. Card show yesterday. So I am the show itself exceeded my expectations in several different regards because it was a new location. In card shows at a new location, sometimes they fall off. Because people are used to going. In fact, one person said they went to the Rock Church first and was like, "Uh-oh, are we at the wrong day?" Nope, just wrong location. So sometimes that hurts. Sometimes it hurts a lot. I know there was a show in Indiana that last year that just sucked because it was at a new location. So people found it. That's good. And it's actually it's actually in a better location. I'm not too familiar with Rockford. But I think it's in a much better location than the church show. The church show is really hard to find. I mean, if it was like off the road. And like I went 12 shows in a row or whatever, and I still had to be like, oh, where's the entrance? Where's the entrance? So the location I think is much better, and it's a little more, there's more traffic. Sometimes traffic hurts a card show, but sometimes it's better. I think in this instance, it's better that it's in a more trafficked area of Rockford, just off of State Street. So that was good. But we had a winter storm warning. It was like near blizzard. The roads absolutely sucked, and people still came out. A couple guys I talked to came in from Chicago. My buddy from Schaumburg. Randy came all the way up from Champaign. We had dealers coming down from Milwaukee and Madison. Let's see. I think we had, because I think Ryan lives in Madison. He was set up right next to me. Let's see. I think there was one other Madison dealer. Bullfrog from Baraboo was down. Let's see. Cardboard Bros and 5-Star, they came from the Milwaukee area. My buddy Wally came in from the Milwaukee area. So a lot of traveling. So hopefully everybody got home safe. And the people, I mean, it was packed. It was packed. Room's a little tighter than the church. But it's a much nicer room. It's carpeted, it's not on a gym floor. But people were spending, like I said earlier, it was the second dollar sales wise. It was the second most I've ever made at a card show since, well, probably ever. But I've been doing shows about two to three times a month since spring of 2021. It's the second most. So how's that for the hobby, right? Hobby ain't dying, baby. My two biggest money shows, January 2023 and August 2022. People are still out there buying cards. Let's see what else. I mentioned earlier, I didn't get a good grasp on what was selling from like other, like, I think I did overheard Joe Burrow was a big seller, which surprise, I think any of the four quarterbacks were going to be hot sales yesterday. I had a card that came across my table that, man, I really wanted, but I was not in a buying mood. It was a Flawless Sandberg Frank Thomas dual auto numbered out of 20. And it was a younger kid. Might have been 12, 13 years old. Wanted like 150, 160 for it. And I was like, the Chicago, like two Chicago legends. Even though it's non-licensed, I love Flawless. I love some of the Panini products. Oof. So that was a tough pass, but I passed. I had a couple other guys offer me bulk. I'm like, no. My Dell, the dime box guy, and I'm like, I hope I don't see Dell for a few months, because he sells the dime boxes for $50 a box. And it's not like, I would not spend $50 on a 4-row box of like new stuff, because it just doesn't move as fast. But if it's like junk wax, stars, I can move that. And just like, and what I like about Dell's dime boxes is it's got a lot of that junk wax stuff that I can move, but also it has like, last summer, I bought a couple boxes from him, and it had like the stars and stripes of guys that were in the baseball draft. So I made a killing because there was like a huge stack of them. And, some of them like Termar Johnson and some of the high draft picks there. I think there were a couple Drew Jones sold for like $3, $4. A lot of the others sold for $1.50, $2, and just sold a ton of them right around the MLB draft because there's not many cards of those guys. So I told Mike, one of the promoters, I'm like, oh my God, Dell's here. I'm like, that's good, but it's bad for me, my wallet, because I'm gonna want to buy bulk boxes from him. And a few months ago, I'm like, God, because I haven't seen him since like July, and there was a point where it's like, man, I'm gonna buy like all of his boxes if I see him. So now I'm in sell mode. So it's like, nope, can't do that. I got to get rid of some stuff because I don't have room. I've got to get stuff listed, sold. I've got bulk sales to take care of. So, yeah. So that was, so I didn't buy a single card. Sold a lot. So that was good. Great traffic, shitty road conditions. We made it home safely. So, Rockford Card Show, great. The next one's 2 weeks away. So I'm not anticipating as good of a show because it's so close together. That's not a knock on the show. It's just sometimes that's the way it works when you're promoting a show. But I'll be there, and I'm going to try to have as many new quarter boxes as possible so I have fresh inventory for people, because I sold a lot yesterday, which is good. But I also have to find new stuff now, freshen up that inventory. Brad, thank you very much. Yeah, it's kind of mind blowing. My goal for last year was 1,000 subscribers, and I went well over 2,000. Great question for the room. I have a 3,000 count monster box of 91 Pro set. What's the question? What's the question, Brad? So let's see what else. Came home, watched the Royal Rumble. Kind of wasn't paying close attention. Jesus. I hope those are eBay notifications. They might be. They could be. Nope, doesn't look like all eBay notifications. Nice little spurt of sales this morning. What to do with it? Bulk it or one by one? Ooh, that's a tough question. That is a tough question. Because here's the thing with something like that. Here's what I would do. But everybody's in a different situation as far as if you have other bulk, I would just throw it in with, I would pick a couple hundred cards out, 100, 200, depending on what it is. If it's a bunch of commons, I would pick out the stars first, and then maybe some fan favorite guys like Icky Woods, The Fridge, Jim McMahon, some of those types of players. Pick those out, sell those individually. The rest, I would just bulk out. That's what I would do personally. I would take 100 to 200 and list on eBay. The rest I would put in my giant mountain of bulk that I'll try to sell for a couple $100. That's what I would do. In fact, just as kind of to piggyback on that, I had some of my boxes like directly behind me. That's all Cubs behind me, but there's like a narrow, like between the two big shelving units, there's like a bunch of like 800, 900 count boxes, which I'm emptying to put basketball for Raphael because he's going to buy some basketball bulk from me. So I'm taking out cards, and there was a box of 88 tops, like some of the worst, but some of that stuff sells on eBay. So I'm like, I'm going to take, and Card Dealer Pro will recognize all these cards. So I'm going to take about 100 cards, and I think I pulled like 70. I'm going to pull 70 or 80 stars, Hall of Famers, fan favorites. Guys like Harold Baines, which it's funny. He's a Hall of Famer, but I would say he's a fan favorite anyway. And so I pulled 70, 80, 88 tops commons, and I bet I'll move, 10, 15% of them. Or more. So that's what I did last night. I pulled a couple of those boxes out just because I needed the boxes for something else. And then it's like most of this is just going to go in my bulk for the next bulk sale. And then maybe try to pull some out for eBay sales. So that's kind of what I did. Yeah, so great show yesterday. My next show again will be in 2 weeks. Rockford, same place as yesterday in 2 weeks, at the IBEW Banquet Hall, Rockford, Illinois. Hopefully the weather's a little better, and hopefully I have some time to build some new bulk boxes. let's see. Oh, with that, I would not send any of that to ComC because you're going to pay 50 cents and it's not worth what you're going to get back. So I would not send any 91 Pro set to ComC. Let's see. So this week I will be live every day. I don't have any card shows scheduled next weekend. So next weekend I'm off from card shows. 2 weeks will be the Rockford Card Show, and then I've got a double whammy at the end of February. February 25th is the next Madison Card Show. February 25th, 9 to 3, Sheraton Hotel. Where's it at? John Nolan Drive. 9 to 3, 125 tables. Should be another sellout show, which means I will not be set up. But if you want to dig through my bargain boxes and you're in Wisconsin, see me in Janesville the next day. Sunday, February 26th. I will be at the Janesville Card Show at the Holiday Inn Convention Center, Janesville. Let's see. Then we're into March already, and I think I'll miss the March Rockford show because I'll be getting a suntan down in sunny Arizona. Let's see. And then when I get back from Arizona, the Madison Card Show will be March 18th. Saturday, March 18th. I don't have my April, May, June. They won't let me sign the contract for a couple more weeks. So hopefully I get the April, May, June dates I requested. So stay tuned for that. So with that, I bid you adieu. Check out my eBay store. I'm going to be shipping a bunch today and hopefully adding a bunch tomorrow. So around 33,000 active listings in my eBay store, and hopefully get to 34,000 this week. Actually, hopefully 40,000. What? Sky's the limit. So hopefully keep adding. Let's see. So check out my eBay store. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Shout out to everybody who came out and saw me. It was awesome. I had like 5 or 6 people say, hey, I don't chat. I'm not in the chat, but I listen to your show every morning. So that's awesome. I love to hear it. If you do see me at a card show, come up, say hello. Love to hear it. So with that, have a great Sunday, and we will chat again tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central.